Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin. Second time today, just want to kind of recap a few things from earlier, because obviously the price did not pull back like we were hoping for to get that dip. But good news is it continued higher and hit all of our profit targets, so it's perfectly fine. What we want to know now, though, however, is where's it going to go next, right? Is it going to continue higher? Is it going to pull back? What are the levels there? Well, we just got to draw some new fibs and kind of go from there. So we'll just go ahead and change some things here and kind of figure it out and work on what we have here in front of us. So if you're new to the channel, I love teaching people to trade. You probably figured that out by now if you've been watching my videos. Feel free to join our crypto community here. We got some awesome day trades here forming with our Crypto Cash Premium Plus. 12%, 5%, should have been 10%. We didn't get filled on Ethereum, but either way, nice little profits there. Those happen daily. And our swing trades also, of course. Take a look at this here. That is our fifth profit target at 40% there for Bitcoin today. So that was nice. And obviously, if you didn't catch earlier video, nice little 25% from render too. So cool stuff here forming. Love this job. I can tell you it's one of the best, most rewarding things possible to work with esteemed members like yourself and to effectively get you where you need to go and help you become better traders, right? So that's the whole point of this. You want to try to learn as much as you can and make sure you take profits on your own accord. Try not to just piggyback off of anyone else, right? It's important to learn as much as you can. Okay, so let's do this here. Let's talk a little bit about supports and resistances, because obviously we broke straight through that resistance level we had earlier today that we discussed, right? That doesn't matter now because it may or may not be a support level now that we have new Fibonacci retracement levels. So what we've had to do is go to the larger time frames, pull the most recent low to the most recent high, most recent high to the most recent low, and effectively project where we're going to be here, okay? Because again, when you draw Fibonacci retracement levels, yes, you could draw it up here, but the price literally just came up there to that level about 5 minutes ago. So we don't want to keep having to redraw our fibs. We use previous data to establish future trends, right? So that's the whole point of that. So keep in mind the previous high, this is actually, if I recall correctly, this is a month close here for last month, is right there at about 28,500. So it's safe to presume that that should be a support level for the moment, at least initially. Obviously, we need more volume. There's a lot of things that must happen, but that's a case in point we want to pay attention to. Also figure out as well, if we do lose that level, where's it going to go next? Well, 27,700 is a pretty safe estimate there too. Okay, so again, some things we want to kind of pay attention to, but for the most part, that's just kind of a preface there. RSI is still trending closer to 70, but haven't hit that yet. Still have more room for upside. Okay, keep that in mind. Take a look at TD sequential on the daily. We're at a 6 here. So there is literally a few more days left of continuation. So I would not try to just keep shorting this. I know a lot of folks are trying to do that. They keep moving their stop losses up higher and higher, and they're starting to get wrecked. And this is what happens. Keep in mind, this could be a fundamental-ish kind of catalyst here. In other words, with that ETF getting approved, I know it's still being processed or whatever the case is. I don't know the full details. We have the details on our Twitter, as a matter of fact, so keep in mind we have a lot of features here. And I actually have a fundamental analyst that works with me to get you those features. But the bottom line is that there's potential fundamental, but also strong technical data here too. As we saw earlier with our back-end data for high block capital, in fact, let's go ahead and refresh this to make sure. We had a tremendous amount of whale activity that was just kind of on the sidelines. In other words, we have a strong divergence here where retail is taking complete control. Remember I told you this earlier, when retail takes over with trading, price typically goes up or plateaus. When whales are trading, the price is typically going down. So we can kind of presume here at this point that the price is trending towards 30,000. Okay, obviously it doesn't take a rocket scientist because 3 or 4 days ago we were at 25,000, but the bottom line is that we are trending towards 30,000 based on a lot of other factors here. We're seeing a green day here for the most part as well. Fear and Green Index is high. We can see that there is less open longs than closed. In other words, they're closing their long positions now at this level because it's getting just too risky, if you will, right? Whereas a lot of shorts are also closing, maybe not by choice because they're possibly getting shorted out or squeezed out rather. So what we can disseminate here is with a tremendous amount of volume from yesterday, the price shouldn't pull back as hard as you'd expect it to. Keep in mind, volume speaks very loud. Let's take a look here at some of these longs. We can see longs are just wreaking in the havoc and the profits too, of course. Those kind of go hand in hand if it goes in that direction. A lot of shorts are getting wrecked too and demolished. So try not to be a late short here. Honestly, it's one of those things right now where you're probably better off just waiting for the price action to do its thing. But you look at this here. I mean, the price just wicked up as we were speaking to 29,100. That's exactly why you take previous Fibonacci retracement levels and use those as current data instead of trying to keep redrawing those out. Keep in mind, 29,500 is the next resistance, so if the price were to continue higher, that should be a point of contention. But just keep in mind as well, we got a strong amount of volume here, and even though we're well overextended, there's no reason for it to discontinue. Okay. Now the probability of it continuing much higher is fairly low, but again, you never truly know what's going to happen on the back end, right? Retail is taken over, whales are kind of just hanging out on the sidelines. There's a great chance the price could come down fairly strong with the whales coming back into the market. But for right now, we got to celebrate the success here and make sure you take some profits if you have a position open. Don't take it all, of course, because you want to let the rest ride. We're looking pretty darn good here, very strong here for Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and we jumped over the 4 hour. Let's quickly note here a couple of key factors. We talked about this earlier. We'll just reiterate that we are to 9 now. We are to 7 previously, and the price blasted through 27,000. Okay, so again, we're at almost 29,000 in one trading day, or just like 12 hours. So it's a pretty significant jump for Bitcoin. That being said, we just hit a 9 and we're +1. So in truth, the price is supposed to pull back soon, but as we talked about earlier, it didn't. Okay. Keep in mind, tremendous amount of volume coming in. We need to recognize that this is probably going to sustain itself. We're well above the moving average for the volume, so until that starts to taper off, there's no reason to short into it. Okay? So pay attention to volume, and the volume starts to dissipate, then we can probably expect the price to pull back. But right now, it is just all bulls for the win. Okay, so cool stuff there. Really like to see that. Take a look at the moving averages. I believe we are above all 3, which we were previously. The one thing I want to touch on here, though, is on the daily. We are officially above the 50-day SMA. That's huge. That's right there at the 27,000 mark. We were kind of testing that earlier today when we discussed last. So a lot can change in 12 hours. That's exactly why I like to review this here multiple times throughout the day and hopefully get you guys some updated information. So we can disseminate here with extra volume, price breaking through a lot of key level resistances that these support levels should hold if they're retested, but they may not even be retested. I do think there's a good chance that we're going to see 20,500 retest in the immediate future. This is a bit of an overextension in a short amount of time. But as we can see here, the Asian market is just dominating for the moment, right? Obviously, New York did pretty well too, but generally speaking, we are at this point where we got to expect the price to continue higher until it doesn't, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but literally shorting into this it sounds like a disaster to me. I know it's a firm consideration because it's like, oh man, it's overextended, but there's no truth that, or no doubt that this is going to, hurt you if you decide to short into this. Now, if we take a look at some of our indicators, we can see that our CC Gold indicator gave us an inclination to go ahead and close our position previously, but it hasn't told us to close this one yet, right? So the price is still likely to continue higher. We can see also on Bollinger Bands too as well, we're well outside that standard deviation. It should pull back, but it hasn't yet. Okay, so again, keep in mind the price will probably contract down a little bit just by maybe 0.5 to 2%, somewhere in that range to retract. I do feel like 28,500 will be a likely consolidation zone, okay? So again, with everything we see here, there's literally nothing that shows us that there's going to be any bearish activity. We've broken through every potential resistance level right now, and we want to pay attention to some future ones here. So just to quickly note, if the price continues to run, we've got 2 resistances for us, okay? 29,500, I'm rounding up by $25, but that is effectively a key level resistance. Look at this, 29,999. You can round up on that one too, right? 30,000 is effectively another resistance level. 1.414 is a very common resistance zone for Fibonacci. Okay, so keep in mind the price continues to run. Those are 2 areas we want to pay attention to. You're going to set your profit targets just below these levels to ensure that you get filled. Okay, you're going to set a stop loss just below 28,500 would be appropriate too if you're going to consider a long position and buy the dip. Okay. Just keep in mind, you're better off taking a long position now, even though it's extremely overextended, than you are to take a short. I know it seems juicy and crazy, but now that we've broken this descending trend, which by the way I discussed earlier today in my video, this kind of trend here with basically a descending trend, it continues to break out eventually. Okay, and we had the perfect origination, right? Comes up here, gets rejected, and then it creates a new high, and then continues to establish lower highs and lower lows. Again, maybe watch my video from earlier today if you're curious about that. That is a descending wedge pattern that effectively broke out. Very strong. Cool. So awesome stuff there. That's exactly why we left our long positions open. We took some nice healthy profits. So again, congratulations to all our community members for the wonderful profits here, and just keep up the good work. Really proud of you guys for just learning a lot, and we got an amazing Discord community too. I mean, the people that you get to interact with here is just fantastic. So Greatly appreciate all the support and, of course, just the ability to be able to work with you guys day in and day out. This is really awesome. So thanks again for everything. One last favor, join us over here at Cash Trading. CryptoCash.tech is the site if you want to register. Everything's there. Link down below for all these resources here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.